Happy Sunday, everybody. My name is Jason Hammer, and I'm not one to be over the top. I'm not one for hyperbole, but we're going to make so much money betting on the Pro Bowl today that you can buy a swimming pool, put gold coins in it, and dive in like Scrooge McDuck.
I am still caught up in the visual of that. What a show this is going to be. Why would you think this is going to be exciting? Because we're going to cover everything from NASCAR to the NBA to college basketball, football, whatever, talking about soon the Super Bowl right here. Can't say that. We'll talk about it now. Boom!
This is All Indiana Bets, presented for the people, powered by Caesars Sportsbook and LUNAZUL Tequila. Feed the wolf.
We made it 40 seconds in this show before somebody had to say the SB word, which is not allowed.
Explain why that's not allowed.
Because the NFL runs on such a small, razor-thin line of profit and not making money. They don't allow programs to say the name of the game.
Even though we're promoting their product.
Right. They want us to call it the big game.
So we're going to have to call it the big game, the BG. I'm going BGs as in, like, you know, Morris and Andy and all the Gibb brothers. It is going to be about BGs because it's wussy that we can't call it the real name. Go ahead, Hammer. You're the host. I'm just angry that I've screwed up already.
And you know where I'm from? BG. Beach Grove.
Beach
See
Grove.
what we're doing here? We're bringing it all together. So this time next week, Rams and the Bengals. The line is at 4.5. It opened up with 3.5. We've seen some big bets come in already. One single bettor moved the line half of a point by himself by putting $500,000 on the Rams. That made it from 3.5 to 4. Now it's all the way up to 4.5.
Hammer, I had free time this week. I decided to put that down, so go ahead.
A lot of the money on the Rams right here. You can see it on the screen. The spread money, the overall bets, all on the Rams. But look at that total. A lot of people feel like this is going to be a low-scoring big game. 48.5. Scott, what say you?
The BGs, I say, boy, you know, there's one thing that just really jumps out when I was doing my early research on this, and that is, if you like one team, just bet them to win the game. Because the teams that cover the spread in the Super Bowl, it's not been since 2009 that a team did not.
Again, stop!
Oh, I can't.
Stop! You're gonna get us kicked off the air.
Why do we even do this show?
It's not that hard.
Let's move on to another sport.
No, I'm fascinated by all this research that you've done. Don't get your feelings hurt now.
No.
What is it now?
I'm just telling you. Hey, everyone. It's been great being on All Indiana Bets. You can see right behind you, there's All Indiana Bets. This is what next week will look like. I probably will be in some kind of debtor's prison. What am I going to do? I might be appearing on the morning shows that Coach Flores was on this week, trying to explain myself.
Hey, look at our numbers from last week, Scott. Look at that.
I'm very good at this. Maybe that's why the NFL doesn't like it, because we are killing the man.
7-3 combined on this show last week. You factor in the prop, lock, and drop it segment, which is separately, it's even better than that.
Yeah.
So let's put all of this legal stuff aside.
It's been a good run for me.
Of what we can say and what we can't say. And let's just give everybody a little taste, a little nugget of some of the action that's available for people to bet on.
Okay. I don't discuss this game. I'm just going to tell you that if, let's say, the Rams and the Bengals were playing.
Yes. That's a super matchup.
Please. I would tell you to go and bet the field goal because it's plus 400. That's a lot of numbers in regards to you bet. What do you bet? You bet $10 on a plus 400. What do you get?
Well, you get 4 times your money and your money back that you bet.
Yeah, so there you go. It's worth it right there. A lot of teams, I think, there's going to be more field goals in this game than you expect. Both kickers are really good, especially the Bengals kicker.
And keep in mind, next week, it will be all about the big game, right? We're just giving you a little taste this week. Just a little
I don't know how I'm going to do it.
So if we're going to give you one little prop bet for next week, I live by the credo of you don't walk away from a heater.
Yes.
Scott, if you're at the blackjack table and you're rolling, do you walk away?
No!
No. I have made this bet 3 times this year and have gone to the winner's window every single time.
Wow.
Joe Burrow over 1.5 touchdowns. You can get this in a multiple, avenue of directions here. If you think it's a competitive game, all right, Bengals will probably score in touchdowns. If you think this is a blowout, you can get that garbage touchdown late in the game where the final score ends up being 48-14. But guess what? You still went to the winner's window with 2 touchdowns from Joe Burrow.
Hey, we haven't even talked about it. The Bengals are somehow in the Super Bowl.
They are.
They were frauds 4 weeks in, and you weren't totally wrong, even though I told you were, because there was no way I would have ever bet. The Bengals were actually...
I love how you're trying to spin this onto me now, like I'm the reason this segment has gone off the rails.
Yeah, I said it 3 times. I feel like it's good luck. What I will try to tell you is to make the big game...
Thank you. Thank you!
I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. I think they got it right, the NFL. NFL, you got it right. It's a good name. I've lived with it my whole life. I don't know the Roman numerals, but the name of the game is good. The Bengals were less likely, according to Vegas, to make it this far as the Jags at the start of the year.
Wow.
There you go.
Joey Burrow, Joey Ballgame. If you want to get a head start on some of the picks that we've made, look above Scott's head right there. That's called a QR code. You scan that bad boy into your phone, you get all of our picks. Just in case you can't stomach watching this program 1 more minute, you can scan the QR code and get the head start. But if you're still with us, if you need somebody to drink with, come on back, because we're going to take this thing up until 1 o'clock today, and we've got one of our wise guys, one of our experts, one of our gurus, Ryan Kramer.
Sweet.
Coming up from the Wise Guy Lounge, he's going to give us a prop bet for the big game next week. It's all Indiana bets. We're doing it. Come on back.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to All Indiana Bets. Producer Peter here, along with our guy, Ryan Kramer from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. All right, Ryan, I joked last week that we were going to bring you on here to make a Pro Bowl pick. Obviously, I was joking. To our viewers at home, if you're betting on the Pro Bowl, please go seek help. Scott and Hammer, that includes you. Ryan, no disrespect intended there if you are indeed wagering, but we're bringing you on to talk about something a little bit more important. That's the big game. I'm not allowed to say what it actually is due to rules and all that, but the big game next Sunday. You've got an early player prop that you've already locked in that you like. Tell us about it.
When you're betting this early in the week, it's because you either know something or you want to get ahead of the market. And for this prop, I'll tell you what, everyone is going to come to you and say, you know what, that Cooper Kupp, he's a good receiver. He gets open. Look at the way the targets condense in the postseason, and Matt Stafford's really finding him. So everyone's going to like the Cooper Kupp over. Lock it in now. It's going to be 112.5, maybe even 115.5 by kickoff. You can get it as low as 102.5, 103.5. So we're going to take the over on his receiving yards now, because we're looking at potentially having like 10% in value, 10% of those total yards in value. So again, sound smart with your buddies, give them a take that makes sense and is actionable. So let's take the Cooper Kupp over receiving yards right now.
A big weekend story here for the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Tell us about what you got going on, both with the Pro Bowl this weekend and then with the big game next weekend.
Yeah, as you're hearing me, I'll be out in Vegas doing some media around the Pro Bowl. And then we're doing Radio Row all next week live from Los Angeles. SGPN, the Sports Gambling Podcast, will be there. So make sure you check out our YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast. And, of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com.
Kramer, appreciate your time as always. Have fun out in Vegas, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Best of luck this weekend.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kramer. Again, more picks for the big game
Are we
next
still in
week.
there? I just want to ask right now, I've always said, why don't we have like a 5-second delay in case I say something that I shouldn't say? let's think about that for next week, because there's no way I'll be able to get through the BG.
I think there is a delay already, but you've ran out of it. Like, they've had to hit it so many times, they're out of delay.
That's so probably true.
I believe I heard our producer Peter mention that if you're betting on the Pro Bowl,
I didn't like
you've got problems. You've
What?
got issues. So you know what we're going to do?
Let's do it.
We're going to bet on the Pro Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Long, the floor is yours.
Okay, first off, if you don't know this, when you look at the ratings for this week, the #1 rated show easily will be the Pro Bowl. I don't get it either. I can't pick the game, okay? But that's a lot of points, okay? So what I'm doing is I wouldn't put a lot of money. This isn't my best bet. But if you got to sit and watch the Pro Bowl, give yourself something to root for. I'm going to be winning at least until the fourth quarter on this. I will have no pressure. I'll be rooting against them, which I always do anyway in the Pro Bowl. It's a lot of losers that are in the game. They're like the Kirk Cousins who have good stats and always lose big game. Oh, that's a big game reference. Let's go to Hammer.
I am going to take the other direction here. We're going to go over the total. I have a hard time believing that these coaches, I think Reggie Wayne is one of them, is going to sit down with the chalkboard and design up really good plans to stop teams on third down. Nobody wants to root for punts. Nobody wants to root for defense. No one's going to be playing any.
What?
No one's going to be playing any defense. The only person that ever played defense in the Pro Bowl was Sean Taylor. Go back and look at that highlight, by the way. Fantastic. Let's take the over here. Over 63, because you want something to watch, and if you're a Colts fan, hey, at least you get to see your guys in the postseason. 63 is the over. That's my play on the Pro Bowl.
Okay, we're done with that. Let's go to something that counts.
Let's go to college basketball.
Yes.
There's some value to be looked at with the future bets. Teams who have amazing odds that could win the whole thing. Scott and I will break those down when we come back. This is All Indiana Bets.
All Indiana Bets is presented by LUNAZUL Tequila. Feed the wolf.
We are just about a month and a couple weeks away from the NCAA tournament. So it's time to really clamp down on college basketball. We're going to have brackets to fill out.
Yep.
We're going to need to make some bets. And now is a great time to make a future bet. Now, a future bet is going to your sports book and finding the odds on who you think is going to win the whole thing.
Right.
Who do you think is going to cut down the nets in the championship game? There's amazing value right now. Look at some of these teams. There's only one team that's less than 1,000 in the odds line. Look at Purdue, look at Kentucky, Duke, and Kansas. I mean, if I would have told you at the beginning of the year, Scott, you could get some of these teams with about a month to go before the NCAA tournament to be at this level of value, you would absolutely take that. Any of these stick out to you?
They really do, and I didn't pick them at the start of the year because I don't really like to let my money just sit in that account for 4 months. But we're close enough now that there was a few that jumped out at me. It's about guard play to me in the NCAA tournaments. Teams that win, if you don't have great guards, you're not going to get there. So the team that #1 that jumps out at me was actually UCLA. I mean, you saw how close they came last year. I love UCLA. I really think Kansas is in a good spot. They really fell down after Kentucky just boat raced them in Lawrence, but they just were off that day. This is a really good team. Self has won a championship. I really like them, and Alabama is my crazy dark horse. Alabama's lost to like Georgia and Missouri, who are terrible, but they've also beaten Gonzaga. They've also beaten Baylor. And I can't even remember who the other. They've beaten 3 top 10 teams. It's kind of insane that this is a team that's capable of doing this. So throw some money on Bama at plus 5,000.
So if you're looking at the top teams in the polls right now, Gonzaga is at #1. They're still plus 600. Imagine getting Georgia or Alabama at this with about 3 or 4 games to go in college football season. You're not getting anywhere near that. And I know it's not as big of a number as some of these other teams, but this is a good investment because think about the way the tournament is set up. They're going to boat race the 16 seed. They'll beat the 8-9 winner, which is an at-large team that's probably not very good. And really, you're just a couple wins away from being there. They've got NBA guys, possibly the #1 pick in the draft, and they're still plus 600. How about Duke? Did anybody catch Duke's act last night at Chapel Hill, beating the brakes off of North Carolina? It's not as good of a Duke squad as we've seen before, but plus 1,000. And keep this in mind, when you're playing in the NCAA tournament, eventually you're going to get close games. There's going to be a whistle late in the game. Do you think any official has got hair on his peaches to blow it against Coach K on his farewell tour? That's not going to happen. So take a look at Duke at plus 1,000. And my Hail Mary here, Wisconsin at plus 5,000. What do you need to win in the NCAA tournament? You need some defense, you need guard play, and you got to have an NBA guy. I think Wisconsin's got that. Are they one of the best teams in the nation? No, but plus 5,000, take a look at them. And Scott, back me up on this. You could pick a couple different teams here. It's kind of like betting on racing, where you can pick a couple different drivers.
Have fun with it.
And as long as you win one, you're making quite the profit.
And that's the first time I've ever heard you either eat or reference fruit on the show. So who knew that would be the way you would bring it? I would have guessed. I do not like Gonzaga. Let me tell you what. I thought the one guy that could have brought it home for him, they finally had a magical NBA-level point guard in Jalen Suggs. They couldn't quite get there. I don't like the guards that much for Gonzaga, and I always concern myself about spending the second half of your year in a conference that doesn't play really physical, tough basketball. So I don't like them, but they are the popularity pick, and I understand what you say.
The way the tournament's set up, they're only going to have about 3 tough games. It's hard to go against that. Give me a pick for today, though.
You know, I'm kind of fading certain teams at this point. Now, Houston has been just almost impossible to beat, especially in that conference. And they've only lost 2 games this year. But if you look at that schedule, it's not very tough, their schedule this year. And they've lost a couple of their key components to this team. This is not Houston even of last year, despite their record. I think plus 6 is too much at Cincinnati, who's a solid team with a good coach. Go with the Bearcats, plus 6.5. Not telling you to go with the Bengals. We'll deal with that next week.
Party at Nick Van Exel's house, Cincinnati plus 6. All right, we got NASCAR action tonight.
We do?
It's kind of a crazy Sunday. We've got this exhibition race taking place at the Coliseum. It's good to see somebody actually filling the stands at the Coliseum because USC has been garbage lately. Martin Truex Jr., plus 2,000. This is a short racetrack, okay? It's a short track race. So that brings to mind a couple drivers. You got Chase Elliott in the mix. You've got Martin Truex in the mix. Don't sleep on Denny Hamlin in this situation. Kyle Larson. But Martin Truex here at plus 2,000 is amazing value, short track racing, exhibition. I think some of these veteran guys are really just doing this just to kind of warm up for Daytona next week. This is going to be a big deal for Truex if he can win this. I like him on a short track, worth the value at plus 2,000.
And you know what? I got to say, why I never go with Truex, he's from New Jersey. I think all the good old boys don't like that. They'll spin him out. Hammer will be like, he's gonna win. Oh my God, the guy's 5 laps behind, just spun him out. And then Jimmy Bob Jilly Jones will go and win the race. That's my prediction. There you go.
Billy Bob Jilly Jones.
Yeah, he's famous.
Got it. When we come back,
he's in the NASCAR Truck Series. I don't know.
There's a couple things that were trending nationwide this past weekend.
Yes, there was.
Joe Rogan's trending.
A lot of comedians.
And the long shot is trending.
Oh.
Scott Long has been on a roll with the long shot.
I'm nervous.
I've been rolling with the Degenerate special. We're going to make so much money, it's going to hurt people's feelings. We're bringing them back next.
The Long Shot, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook.
Man, this is what we've been waiting for, an incredible roll. The gambling world has never seen a run like this. In the last 15 weeks, look at it, it's right there. 14-1, 14 winners straight up. You don't even need no stinking points with the long shot.
No, and you know, I gotta say this right now. I said there feels like there's pressure, but there is no pressure. I could win like forever, which I seem to be doing. But let's say I lose 13 straight weeks, I'm still a winner. Bring it on me, come on, right now. Okay, I put these on.
Oh,
this
here
is
come
all
the glasses.
for focus.
Teenage girls are going crazy right now. Scott puts the glasses
I don't
on.
feel comfortable with any of your discussions on that. I will just try to
They've
tell
got
you.
posters up.
There's not many games on the schedule. Hammer and I know this. Last week there wasn't many, but there was one game I said, you know what? Drake against Loyola. Take that. Drake won by, I believe, 11 points. They were a 2-point dog. These games are not even close. Bezos, and you know who joined us this week, Hammer? Both Buffetts, Warren and Jimmy, were on the beach with us, spoiling our way as we get on the yacht. This is what we're doing this week. We're taking the Cowboys in Fresno. Wyoming is a very, very good team. Both teams have good big men. I stay up and watch the late night games in this conference. Take your money on Wyoming. Hit that money line. That's what I tell you every week. Why wouldn't you do it? Do it again. I've already done it.
And think about how much money people have won with these picks, because it's always a long shot. It's an underdog. You get paid more money, and that's what we do here on All Indiana Bets. And this brings us
Hammer
to the Degenerate Special.
Sheesh.
This is a game that nobody cares
Look
about.
at that. Now stop a second. Read that.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's
Look at that
amazing.
beautiful line. 11-5, last 16 Degenerate Specials. Remember, the money you win on these games, it's the same money you would win on the big game. See what I did there?
I love that.
Next week. So let's turn our attention to today's Degenerate Special, Iona against Niagara. Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino. If he didn't have his way with that waitress in the diner, we'd still be talking about this guy as one of the great college basketball coaches of all time.
Right.
You probably should be. Iona is really good. They made the tournament last year. This is a squad that could get an outright bid this season. Now, these two teams played back on January 16th, and Iona beat them by 23. The line is 7.5 here. Am I to believe that Niagara's home court advantage is to compensate all of those points? That ain't happening. The Fighting Rick Pitinos lay the 7.5 here. Iona against Niagara. That is your Degenerate Special for today. Now, let's say that you had a rough night last night, Scott. Let's say you went out to your favorite drinking establishment, spent all your money. All you got left is $5. We can help you.
I've been there.
We can help you. If you just got $5, you can do the Ballin' on a Budget parlay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a big parlay guy. Parlays, for the most part, are sucker bets. But if you just got $5 and you're down on your luck, what do you got to lose?
Right.
How about the Cavs against the Pacers today? I got breaking news for you. The Pacers stink. Cleveland, much better than people thought. Lay the 6 as the Cavs are at home. We'll take the over in Philadelphia and Chicago, 219.5. I feel like that's going to be a really good ball game. The Celtics, minus 8.5 now. That's gone up a little bit, but I still feel good about the Celtics. Orlando's not any good. And in college basketball, Minnesota on the road, getting 13 points against the Fighting Scott Longs of Iowa. They're not going to win the game, but 13 is too many points. Make this bet. $5 wins you over $60. That is how you ball on a budget with All Indiana Bets.
I don't even know those first 3 games, what league they're in or anything. I pay no attention. I'm focused on the Wyoming Cowboys and Fresno State. You're right. I would, if I'm going to lean on that Iowa pick, I would definitely lean Gophers. That's too many points.
When we come back, we will share the pick that we like the best.
Yummy.
We call it the Larceny Lock.
Even more yummy.
I'm going to grab a drink. Scott's going to grab a drink. You do the same. Let's all meet back here in a minute.
The Larceny Lock is brought to you by Larceny Bourbon. Steal a taste.
I love that they give us this amazing array of larceny here. Today we're trying the Elijah Craig, the small batch with a little Diet Coke because we're health nuts.
Right.
That's the way we do it here on All Indiana Bets. Let's get down to the one bet that Scott and I feel best about. Scott, what's yours?
So I'm breaking everything down. I'm looking at all of this, and it really came down to, you know what? I want to bring my glasses again because it's been so lucky with the one. Last week I had both my best
women at
bets.
Broad Ripple crazy.
There we go. Broad Ripple, yeah. Last week I hit on betting against Loyola. I'm doing it again. As you can see, if you don't know, Loyola has been terrible against the spread in the Missouri Valley. This is a team that's been to the Final Four. This is a team that beat Illinois last year. There's a major difference besides Krautwig being gone. Porter Moser is the coach in Oklahoma. He is a great coach. This guy's just a Missouri Valley coach. He's not great, he's not bad, but Missouri State has been very good, probably the best they've been since old Steve Alford was there or Charlie Spoonhour. Either one, Newcastle, you know what I'm talking about.
Stand up, Newcastle.
There we go. Take Missouri State.
All right, Scott going with Missouri State here.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when it was Southwest Missouri State.
Yes, I am too. That's when Alford and Charlie Spoonhour were there, and they were good every year.
Yes. All right, I'm going to go to the National Basketball Association. Man, I hate this because I'm a Pacers fan. Going to the games is fun. Going to the games is affordable. Unfortunately, the Pacers rarely win those games. If you look at the roster, the Pacers roster looks like it should be much better than this. What if I told you the Cleveland Cavaliers have an all-star and the Indiana Pacers don't? Can anybody name a Cleveland Cavaliers player? You probably can't. But they've been surprisingly good.
Is Kevin Love still on the team? I don't even know.
You're really close to me, and that makes me uncomfortable.
That's why I said, is Kevin Love here?
Lay the 6 with the Cavs in this one. Pacers going on the road. Cleveland better than advertised. At the beginning of the year, we thought they would be playing for the #1 pick. That's not the case at all. The Pacers will be in the lottery. Lay the 6 Cavs over the Indiana Pacers. All right, we are going to come back and get ready to go to the HR office and play a round of prop, lock, or drop it. We've been winning a lot of these. Let's keep it rolling. Little
Kevin
NBA
Love.
edition.
Like Kevin Love here. It is time to play America's new favorite game, Pop, Lock, or Drop. No, it's Prop. I know.
Big game.
Hammer, 2-1 last week. Now 22-10 over the segment. I don't even know what you're doing with this, but it's all coming up money.
It is. It is.
First up today, not a lot of options.
Right.
Okay, so we're hitting NBA hard. Can we say NBA anymore?
We can say NBA.
Okay.
But this is how bad, by the way, the Pacers and Cavs game is. We were going to do an all Pacers and Cavs edition of Prop, Lock, or Drop It. By the time we went on the air, the prop bets haven't even been posted for the 6 o'clock game between the Pacers and Cavs. So we got to find some other things to do.
Okay, so we're first going to hit Karl Anthony Towns, Jason Allen Hammer.
Yes, sir.
Pistons against them. Over-under for assists is set at 3.5. Do you lock or do you drop?
I am going to lock this in with Cat. Over 3.5 assists. So the Pistons are not any good. You are going to see Minnesota move the ball pretty well. Minnesota doesn't play defense. And when you look at the amount of assists that Karl Anthony Towns has had in the last 5 games, they've all been over 3.5. So let's lock this one in. Hold your nose and make this bet. It's going to be a winner. Karl Anthony Towns over 3.5.
So next up, we're still in the NBA. 76ers big man Joel Embiid over under 31.5 points against the Bulls. That's a big game today.
That is.
Lock or drop that.
Man, you look at what he's doing offensively and you want to go over. But I'm going to drop this one down low because you need everything to go right for Embiid to hit 31.5. You need him to stay out of foul trouble. You need this to be a close game so he stays on the floor. There's a lot of things that have to go right for you to win this, but I'm going to drop it down low. That's just too many points for me to say you feel good about. We're going to go under. I'm feeling about 28-29 is probably where that's going to be. That's under 31.5 if my Beech Grove High School education is correct.
Am I wrong in saying that Joel Embiid is maybe the best big man right now in the NBA, and Cat is not far behind.
Miles Turner would definitely agree with you.
Yes, he plays deep, tries against Joel Embiid. Last one is Celtics forward Jason Tatum, another top young big man in the NBA. Taking on the Magic, they are not good.
No.
Over-under for rebounds set at 7.5. Do we lock or do we drop?
We lock that bad boy in, because here's what we know about Orlando. They're not any good. They are going to shoot, they are going to miss, and that's going to happen repetitively in this ball game. The Magic don't shoot well from the field, they don't shoot well from the three-point line, and they're average at the free throw line. A lot of misses, which means lots of opportunities for Jason Tatum. Now, what scares me a little bit is I think this will be a blowout, so I don't know how much he's going to play late in the game, but we're hoping he gets that 7.5 well before the final couple of minutes. Let's lock this one and go over. Now, when we come back, Scott, we got some Vegas bombs to look at here. We're going to go on the rocks to the Saint Shack. Look at that, some Evan Williams Peach. We got some Red Bull.
I love this bar. It's so cool.
Getting ready for the Pro Bowl with Vegas bombs. That's coming up next. Plus, Scott Long, he's firing up. He's getting ready for a Stop It segment. We've got all of that coming up before 1 o'clock. Don't leave now. We're just warming up. This is All Indiana Bets.
All Indiana Bets, presented for the people, powered by Caesars Sportsbook. On the Rocks is brought to you by Evan Williams. Bourbon done right.
Hello and welcome back to On the Rocks. Brent Holberson with Heaven Hill Brands here, coming to you from beautiful downtown Indianapolis on Meridian Street. Come to you today to talk with my man Steven over here, showing us a wonderful shot we're going to be doing. And also got our Global Whiskey Ambassador, Mr. Bernie Lovers, with us. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Doing very well.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Steven.
Yeah.
What do we got today?
So this is a Vegas bomb. It's kind of a staple on Meridian Street here with the nightclub scene. So basically what it is it's just a shot here of Evan Williams Peach.
Peach flavored whiskey. God, I think it shows the versatility of whiskey.
It definitely does. It definitely does. We're doing a half can of Red Bull here.
It's about as simple as it gets, right?
Yeah, yes sir. Meridian Street out here, typically a lot more nightclubs. So this is a very high volume area. This is one of our staples here for that lifestyle.
Yeah, and then you get to do it yourself, right?
Yeah,
you get
absolutely.
hand it to them.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Brent, you get to do it yourself.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, by all means.
And there you are, sir.
All right, well, thank
Just
you.
drop that guy in there.
A little homage to Hammers, lock it, drop it, and shot. Cheers.
He's had practice at that, Steven.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Join us next time on The Rocks, and be sure to check out the patron saint and Saint Shack. Cheers.
My man, cheers for the shout out. Close on the name, prop, lock, or drop it, but I appreciate it. All right, we've made a lot of picks. Let's recap what we've got on the big board on this weird Sunday on the sports calendar. Got a vast array of things to bet on. We gave you a little preview of next week. We gave you one prop bet. Mine is Joe Burrow over 1.5 touchdown passes. I'm gonna keep going back to that well until it dries up. Real degenerates bet on the Pro Bowl, baby, and we're going over 63. Nobody plays any defense. The Cavs, -6, that's my best bet against the Indiana Pacers today. And as a Pacer fan, I hate that, but we're all about the money here. Feelings are put aside. Also, on the big board, Iona, your degenerate special. The Fighting Rick Pitino's lay the 7.5 on the road at Niagara. Iona, really good basketball team. And lastly, we got a little exhibition NASCAR tonight, short track. Give me one of the short track experts, Martin Truex Jr., plus 2,000, Scott Long.
Look for Billy Joe Jilly John, who could be part of that race as well. All right, look at this. This is next week. We're giving you a little early taste of this.
You almost did it. You almost did it.
Big game, BGs. Plus 400, that's a lot of money. I think the Rams are gonna score first. It's just like, if they get that, that looks good. Pro Bowl under 63. I'm not even gonna watch, but at least I'll give me a reason to look later on what the final score was, okay? Get some action, gotta need some action. We got football, what is going on next? Cincinnati, this is not the Bengals, though close, +6.
The Bearcats, baby.
Bearcats versus Houston. This is kind of a fade on Houston and Wyoming Cowboys. What is it? Is that the long shot?
The 14-1 long shot.
Straight up and against the spread. Put some money on both. It'll do you well. Missouri State, it should be +1.5 against Loyola, I think. But ultimately, what I'm telling you is put your money on Missouri State.
Now, let's go to the producer's studio here. Now, our guy Peter, as much as we make fun of Peter because he sounds like an elf, and he's got weird hair, and he looks like he doesn't shave, and his body smells.
I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later. Hammer, let me know when you're done talking.
As much as we make fun of Peter for all of those things,
I don't.
he's been a machine at betting college basketball. As a matter of fact, to his credit, he posts all of his picks on Twitter, so all you got to do is follow him and to make the money. Where are you at on Twitter?
At Peter Hood, we were 45, 31, and 2 this week. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to use all that money to bail Scott Long out of jail. I just got the word the feds are on their way here. The NFL apparently called. They're upset. He said a couple words in the first segment that they didn't like.
I'm sure their lawyers aren't good.
Well, we'll see what happens. If Scott's not back next week, Hammer, it might just be you and I. But this slate stinks today. Let's just call it what it is. It's not a good college basketball slate. Scott, I'm going to fade your boy Steve Alford. I know you're a huge Steve Alford fan from his days back at Iowa. Nevada has not been good this year. They've struggled. That would be one way to put it. And today they were going up against the San Diego State team that, coming off of a loss under Brian Dutcher, he's been the head coach there for 5 years, 20-10 against the spread coming off a loss.
He's good.
He's very good. They're the top defensive team in the country, going up against a Nevada team that could be missing 2 starters, including their leading scorer in Grant Sherfield, who missed their last game. So tough spot here for Nevada. I like San Diego State -12.5 on their home floor. And Scott, you might want to run. I heard the boys are right around the corner.
Peter, one more time. What were you last week on college basketball?
45, 31, and 2. So 60% or so.
Did you bet on every game? I mean, what is going on there at Peter's house?
Volume better, Scott.
Okay.
Volume better.
All right.
If you have a gambling problem, 1-800-9-WITH-IT is the phone number.
Yes.
All right, when we come back, Scott Long. He's been waiting for this. Like during commercial breaks, he like shadow boxes, and you can see the veins sticking out of his neck and his forehead. Stop it with Scott Long coming up next. When the eyebrow is up, it's about to go down.
Oh, man, that is so true. Here we go. What I want to share with you today is you got to be careful with what you bet on. You got to know what you know. Okay, so I'm a stand-up comedian for 30 years, okay? And one of the things, corporate groups hire me because I can make almost any subject funny. I'll do the research, be it accountants, be it lawyers, be it insurance people, engineers, I can rock it. So this group that was in the Bitcoin blockchain people were like, we're gonna bring you to Manhattan. We're the top people. It's a convention. They bring me in, and I will tell you, I couldn't find anything funny about those people. I told them right there, they deserve all the money in the world because this is the most boring stuff I have ever seen. I will tell you the only thing I learned about myself and blockchain, I now am narcoleptic every time I look at it. That's how I feel about the NBA. I don't watch the NBA anymore. I kind of gave up on it. I grew up, I love the NBA more than everything. I don't even know what's going on in the league. So today, I go and I find out the standings. These are the standings, high level graphics here, right here.
We spare no expense on the graphics.
Oh, look at that. The Bulls are the best team in the East. I'm looking at this myself. I can't even believe it. Okay, Miami, Milwaukee are pretty good. Cleveland. Cleveland's the 4th best team. I didn't have any idea. LeBron's not there still. So those are the top 4 there. Are Brooklyn? No. Phoenix. Phoenix is good. Golden State's good. Memphis, Utah. Don't bet on it. Stop it. Don't even think about it. Stop it. Hammer, this is a intervention. Stop betting on the NBA.
My best bet of the day is the Cleveland Cavaliers, -6 against the Indiana Pacers. For Peter Hood, for Scott Long, I'm
right.
Jason Hammer. May the odds be ever in your favor. Good luck,
Thank
everybody.
you, guys.